can wash as often as you like for one low monthly price.
I save money and time.
We're Tommy's Express.
Tommy's Express Wash, now open on the corner of Greenville Boulevard and Red Banks Road in Greenville.
Here with Mike Mullis from Fixed NC. And Mike, you were telling me the other day, people ask you all the time, I didn't know you did that. What does that mean?
You know, anything that involves property damage repair, call us first. If it's your crawl space, you've got interior humidity issues, a water loss, your ice maker line breaks, obviously fire and smoke, everybody knows we do those. But anything that involves interior or exterior property damage, we're your repair experts.
Mike, how can everybody get in touch with you?
252-999-0001 or fixednc.com.
On Saturdays, your team needs you, your sofa needs you, and you need a Jersey Mike's sub. Get it all with free Saturday delivery when you order through the Jersey Mike's app. Jersey Mike's, a sub above. This Saturday, while you watch the game at home, we're watching the grill at Jersey Mike's. Order through the Jersey Mike's app for free delivery on Saturdays, unless you're going to miss hearing this. Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
This is Dr. Phil Perdue with Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine Center. My colleagues and I recognize how difficult this time is for everyone in our community. We continue to see patients during the week while taking precautions to keep everyone safe. Our extended care clinic is now open on Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. so you can avoid the emergency department for your urgent orthopedic care. For more information, please contact us at 757-2663 or visit our website at orthoeast.com.
Are you ready, Pirate fans? Freeboot Friday is back. Uptown Greenville invites you to Freeboot Friday, the official pep rally of home ECU football games. Join fans for live music, food, beer and wine, children's activities, and more. Brought to you by Wells Fargo, the Freeboot Fun takes place from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. each Friday before ECU home football games in the 5 Points Plaza. Visit uptowngreenville.com for more information. And as always, go Pirates!
My whole business just went up in flames, but my agent was there before the fire was out. We started a plan. I've got 25 employees who could be out of a job if we didn't get this place running again. My independent agent and auto owner's insurance, they made sure we didn't skip a beat. I mean, we didn't miss a single payroll. That's incredible.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there.
This is Brian Smith with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates!
Hey Pirate fans, your one-stop shop for all your tailgate essentials is Shimmer Boutique. Need some purple and gold to wear? Shimmer has a great selection of clothing for men, women, and children. Need some shoes? Shimmer has the best selection of Hey Dudes around. Need a cooler for tailgating? Shimmer has you covered with a huge selection of Yeti and outdoor accessories. Shimmer, just 1 minute from the stadium on Greenville Boulevard behind Starbucks and in Winterville and Jacksonville. Find us online at shimmerboutiqueonline.com. Go Pirates!
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the pirate nation. This is Eastern North Carolina's longest-running sports radio call-in show. The Brian Bailey Show is on the air. The Brian Bailey Show on Pirate Radio is brought to you by
Angus Grill, Bostic Sugg Furniture, Bojangles, East Coast Grading, The Gavigan Agency, Greenville Auto World, Papa John's, Pepsi, Seared Chop House, Taft and Hagler, Tiebreakers, PMS Builders, and The Rick House.
And now, here's Brian Bailey.
Happy Labor Day, everybody, and thanks so much for spending part of your holiday Monday with us. This is the Brian Bailey Show on Pirate Radio. East Carolina falls to Appalachian State 33-19 in the opener. Now it's on to the home opener for East Carolina as the Pirates take on the Gamecocks of South Carolina. And joining us to talk about the upcoming game with the Gamecocks and the past game with the Mountaineers is Donnie Kirkpatrick, the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach for East Carolina. We will hook up with him coming up as our show continues right after this.
Pirate Nation, your ECU football team is getting ready for another season, and they need you inside Downey-Picklen Stadium. Football season tickets are on sale now, and great seats are still available. Come out and watch your Pirates take on SEC opponent South Carolina, preseason top 10 Cincinnati, and many more. Season tickets start at just $99 and can be purchased online at ECUPirates.com or over the phone at 1-800-DIAL-ECU. Buy yours today, and let's bring back Rowdy Downey. Go Pirates!
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh, she's doing great.
Oh yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
Here is your ice-cold Pepsi Zero Sugar, sir.
Oh, thanks.
Wanna watch the game? Ooh, little sports ball on a Sunday afternoon. Don't mind if I do. Hey, did we win? It sounds like we won.
It's still the first quarter.
I must be lucky. People say that about me. Tough break on that free throw there. Shouldn't be doing that.
Dude, we're watching football. Come on. For everyone who spent the entire game explaining the entire game, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
This is John Gavigan with the Gavigan Agency. Our top priority is doing what is best for our members. Whether you are buying a new vehicle, a new home, protecting your family with life insurance, or filing a claim, our agency will be there every step of the way. Our goal is to become a trusted advisor for you and your family for all of your personal and commercial insurance needs. Give us a call in Greenville at 756-1400 for a car, home, business, or life insurance quote today, and give us the opportunity to show you the benefits of doing business with someone who cares.
East Coast Grading and Utilities is your source for clearing, hauling dirt, and concrete work. East Coast Grading and Utilities handles all sewer and water issues as well.
I'm David Bone. Whether putting in a new subdivision or helping you with any and all of your drainage problems, I can get the job done. Call me at 531-7494.
No job is too big or too small. East Coast Grading and Utilities. Friends helping friends. 531-7494 for East Coast Grading and Utilities.
There are times in our lives when we feel like we have hit rock bottom with nowhere to go, but that is actually when God is closest to us and building us into who we are meant to be. Hi, I'm Holt Nailers, and that's how Built When Broken was formed. BuiltWhenBroken.com is an apparel brand to remind people not only where they've come from, but also where they are going. Visit BuiltWhenBroken.com to get the latest BWB apparel, t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and more. BuiltWhenBroken.com, apparel for our walk through life.
Pirate Radio.
You know, for having such a bleak outlook on pirates, you're well on your way to becoming one.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
Okay, welcome back on this Labor Day Monday. Donnie Kirkpatrick, 37 years of collegiate coaching experience. He's the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach for this East Carolina Pirate football team. Another stint with East Carolina. He's had a lot of success in the past, looking for some more success in the future, and he joins us right now to talk about the Pirate loss to Appalachian State and going forward against the Gamecocks of South Carolina. Coach K, how are you?
That's amazing. 37 years coaching, and I'm only 39 years old.
That's what I was thinking. You started when you were 2.
I guess I did.
I guess you did. You're one smart man. 8 years as a coordinator. You know, when you become a coordinator, how does that change the mindset of everything? I mean, do you like, the role of coordinator better than, being one of the assistants on the staff, or is it easier as an assistant rather than being the coordinator?
Well, I like it on days we play good.
Yeah.
You don't play as good. You don't like it as much, obviously. It is. It's quite a bit different. In fact, and then that's another jump. Then going to being the head coach is the same type of a jump. But as a coordinator, you have to make a lot more decisions. As an assistant, you make a lot of suggestions, and so there's a lot more on it. You can't just be concerned with one position. Obviously, I coach the quarterbacks as well, and when you're just a quarterback coach or just a receiver coach, that's all you're concerned about,
right,
for the most part. And if they do what they're supposed to do, if they play good, then you're happy with that. If not, then obviously you're upset about that. As the coordinator, then you're responsible, obviously, for the entire offense. So you just have a wider scope of things. There's just a lot more responsibility.
Pirates fall in the opener 33-19. When you guys go through and look at the tape on that game, what are some of the things that you saw?
Well, it's like this in a lot of games, because it's a game you can't ever play, perfectly. You strive to do that. You'll never reach that goal, but you try to get as close as you can. It was a game, I think, of a lot of lost opportunities. Now, we were playing a good football team. I mean, I think most of these Carolina fans are pretty educated, and they know that. I think there's a few drunk people or a few bad gamblers out there that maybe didn't understand that we were playing a pretty good football team. I coached in Appalachian, so I know the pride there, and I know what the program's built on. They were an FCS 1AA team until, I guess, 6 years ago. In those 6 years, they've won 63 football games. That's averaging over 10 wins a game, and they've won 6 bowl games. So, probably some people maybe didn't have the respect for them that we did. Our team did. We surely respected them, and we expected a tough battle. We hoped we'd play a little better in some situations, and we would be able to come out ahead. But we were expecting a tough game, and what got us was just some lost opportunities. We scored 2 touchdowns that were called back. And then you can't have that happen. I don't know what happened on the ruling where they overruled the Hail Mary at the end of the half. That's a pretty amazing situation. We scored one later that they took away, which we're not sure why that happened either. We ended up settling for a field goal on that one. And then we had a 60-some-yard run. It would have given us a 1st and goal at the 6-yard line. Then we got a holding call back behind the play. And we just weren't able to overcome those type of things. It was a game where you got 11 possessions in the game. It's a ball control game. When you play Appalachian, they're not going to let you have the ball very much. They're going to grind it out. So you've got to take what you got. You got to capitalize. And that were 3 scoring opportunities there that we weren't able to overcome. And so you're just not good enough to outscore them if you don't take advantage of those situations.
I was surprised at Appalachian State's quickness. I think even with their big folks, it just seemed like even when Holton would scramble around and it looked like he was going to go, he did go for the one big gain that got called back, but it seemed like every time he got loose that they were so fast. The interior linemen, the linebackers, the defensive backs, they closed very quickly. I think that was one of the surprising things. I didn't think I would see that kind of team speed out of App State.
Yeah, they have that speed. What we knew was they're probably a little smaller maybe than, say, the traditional top 10 team in the country, the Alabamas, the Ohio States, those type of people.
Yeah.
They have guys who are that fast, and then they're also very, very large. So whereas Appalachian may didn't have that great a size, they really have the speed. They've got the great quickness. They play a scheme that fits that very well. It's a very much of a movement. They haven't been as big a blitz team as they were the other night. Visiting with their coaches, because we're good friends with a lot of guys on that staff. They told us the philosophy was, or the game plan was, they thought they had to blitz more. You can't let Holton get comfortable. If he gets in a rhythm, he'll shred you. So you've got to make him run. You've got to make him get out of the pocket. You've got to contain him, but you can't let him have time to throw the ball. And that was pretty much what happened the other night too. When we were able to get the thing set up and he was able to have a clear shot to throw the ball, we completed a lot of passes. There were 6 or 7 protection breakdowns in the game. We threw the ball 40 times. There were 6, I think, possession or type protection breakdowns for one reason or the other. It was a different guy every time. That's the issue as a coach. You wish it was one guy. You'd just change the one guy out, but it wasn't that deal. So they did a nice job of pressuring us and some things and using their speed. But, yeah, they can run. They had 10 starters back on a defense that gave up 16 points a game last year. They had a transfer from Wisconsin, to add to that. So they've got players. They've recruited well. They've really taken advantage, I think, of the state of North Carolina with probably us being down and getting a lot of kids that we used to get when I was here with Ruff and Skip. But
right.
Those guys have signed those kids now over the last couple of years, 4 or 5 years. And then they've done a really nice job with the transfer market. Like I say, had a good safety in there from Wisconsin, had, Georgia Tech guy in there, had a couple other big guys. Even their quarterback was a Clemson guy that started at Clemson before, started at Duke. So they've done a nice job of getting talent in there. They probably don't get the respect that they think they should get, but they got legit players now.
When you looked at the tape and you mentioned some of these plays, but let's go over the big one right before the half, the Hail Mary. On the field, it was called a touchdown. What was the thinking? I followed Coach Houston into the tunnel, and he talked to the official outside. And then during the coaches show, obviously, Coach Houston didn't really say a whole lot about it because obviously you can't say a whole lot about it. But it just seemed to me that replay, and it's happened so much with East Carolina. I think back to the Tulsa game. I mean, it almost seems like when the replay is reviewed, not that everybody's going against East Carolina, but it's like somehow they screw it up. I don't know how anybody saw on any replay that I saw that, I don't know who caught that football. I know CJ came away with it. I know the call on the field was a touchdown. But what did you guys see on tape?
Well, that's what we saw.
Yeah.
Same thing. We had the views we had, and then being in the press box, I had access to the TV, and I watched it, and, it looked like probably that was two guys had the ball, and then in that situation, it goes to the offense.
Right.
And then plus the offensive guy came out with the ball, so the guy called it a touchdown, and we've not really been able to get a good explanation of how they changed it, who changed it. And again, we can't worry about that and say, well, we didn't lose the game because of the officials,
right?
For sure,
right.
Nobody's saying that.
Exactly.
That never really happened. We do seem to be on a little bit of a downtrend. Even there was a fumble later in the game that I didn't see because I'm not watching our defense as closely. I'm preparing for the next series that they thought would have went our way, and it didn't go our way either. So nothing, we're just going to have to go out. We've got to change that. We just got to play better because it just does seem to be like we're on a roll. For every time it goes to the review, that's going to be a bad deal right now. But I don't know. It's got to even itself out. We figure.
Does Coach Houston have an option that he can send certain tape to the league and say, could you please look at this and tell us give us an explanation of this or that, or is there a process there?
There is. Actually, we do that, and we come in the very next day, and we did that Saturday. We went recruiting on Friday, so we did it on Saturday. We sent it in, and you do get a response back, and sometimes they will, be pretty honest with you and say we missed that call, and they can't be perfect. We know that.
Right.
We make mistakes. The players make mistakes, the coach makes mistakes, the officials are going to make mistakes too. They're a little sensitive to it. They set themselves up too much. I'll promise you that. They'll give you one. The long run that Holton had, it would have given us first and goal from the 6 there, which it was 14-6. We would have had a chance to tie or at least cut it to 1, and the odds would have been in your favor, first and goal from the 6.
Right.
The coach got on the guy pretty good, and his response was, Coach, you might be right. I might have missed that one. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
You get a few, they'll admit they missed a few. They won't admit very many of them. They're that human nature. They're not going to do that very much. But it's the supervisor doing it. Now, if the guy misses too many calls, obviously, probably won't be calling the next week or something like that. But, we still had other opportunities, though. We felt like we had some mental errors. We busted a few routes. We busted a few protections in there. It was really hard to run the ball. The first half, they had really geared up. We knew they would load up the box and try to stop the run, and that's what a good defense does, and they're good at doing that. We came out second half and, really got the run going a little bit, which I thought helped us. It's just then we were too far behind to stay with that. You had to kind of abandon that and try to score a little bit quicker, and we were able to get a few points in there, just not able to get enough points. So, tough night, but that's the beauty of this, is that you don't have time to sit around and feel sorry for yourself, the players or the coaches. We got a big game coming to Dowdy-Ficklin, and it's the first time in a while this thing's going to have a good crowd in here.
Yeah.
So all our focus is toward that.
All right, one more question before we get away from that whole call before halftime. Was the referee, the head referee, was he looking at the big screen and going back and forth? Because it sure looked like he was controlling the big screen at one point, looking back and forth and trying to, and I guess he's talking to the replay official, in his headset, but it looked like he was looking up and looking at it. And was that what was going on? Did you see that?
I know what you're talking about, and I don't think that's the process.
I don't think it was either.
No, what the process was, I think that was just the stadium people, showing it to the crowd, running it back, which I don't know if they should do that or not do that.
Yeah.
But it did seem to kind of go in conjunction with what they were doing over there. But I don't know. That one didn't go our way. That could have been a momentum changer, I think, to go in at halftime. Instead of down 20-6, it could have been, a one-score game. And we came out in the third quarter, which we had a big emphasis on in preseason camp about we were going to play better in the third quarter. We thought that was one of the poorest things we did last year was come out of the half and get started quickly. Even in the SMU game, the third quarter kind of was stale for us. So came out, got the stop, and drove down and scored, but we had to settle for the field goal. And we at that point, field goals weren't good enough. We needed to get the point, so we took the field goal. But we should have punched that one in right there, and then we probably could have got back in the game. And I know a lot of people, thought the game maybe wasn't as close. I saw where somebody said, well, it wasn't as close as the score. Actually, I thought it was a lot closer than the score. And when you look at the film, I think you would think that too. There was a series in there of 4 possessions where they scored 4 straight times. We held them to 2 field goals, which was a great job by the defense. And then we did not return those scores. One of those was because we got the holding call. We'd had a great chance to score there. And then one of those was in there where they didn't give us the call on the Big Ben or the Hail Mary. So, you take that part out of it, it was a pretty evenly played ball game. And if we could just get a few breaks or just create a few breaks is what you got to do, I think we'll be a better team. But it was a good one. It's a good one to get learning experience from, like I say, and we'll move on.
Who were some of the players before we go to South Carolina? Who were some of the players that really graded out well against App State?
Well, Josiah Hatfield had a really good game for us, and we really were excited about him. We've always been excited about him. He's shown flashes of being a big play type of a guy that gives us some speed, which we still lack a little bit of speed at receiver. He's just had an injury-plagued career. Every time we kind of get him going, it seems like he's gotten hurt. That kind of happened in the preseason camp. He was out for about 2 weeks, so we didn't start him. He got in there and he played 34 plays. I think he had 3 catches, a couple really, really nice plays. So we hope that we're going to really, really continue to see him do that. So I think he was one that really stood out. I thought Raji and Keaton both had really, really good games. They didn't get a lot of rushing yardage, so I know a lot of times people are just going to judge a running back by his rushing yardage. When we couldn't run it as effectively, Keaton had the long touchdown catch. That was an amazing play by him, just showing what kind of speed he's got. Both of them hurt us a little bit in the protection game. Both of them had a sack that they caused. So again, as relatively young guys, just second-year players, which that's not that young anymore. They got to tighten up on that, but they also played very well. Holton had a solid game. Everybody expects Holton to throw for 700 yards every game. That's not going to happen realistically. But he had a good, solid game. He threw for right at 300 yards. And he had 2 touchdown throws, and he had 2 touchdown throws that were taken back. So, you could have had a 4-touchdown game with about a 360 type deal. Too many incompletions, but some of those were his fault. Some of those were not his fault, Had 3 or 4 times you had to throw the ball away to avoid a sack. That hurt you. You had the Big Ben, which you think you caught. One of those is a clock play where you're throwing it down in the ground, intentional grounding. So, we want to get the percentage up. We probably just got to protect a little bit better for him, and then I think we're going to be okay.
Donnie Kirkpatrick, our guest. We're taking your questions and comments on our Facebook Live feed as well. We'll take a commercial break right now. We'll come back and we'll talk South Carolina Gamecock football. The Gamecocks come to town this weekend. Back with more on the Brian Bailey Show on this Labor Day holiday after this.
This is a Pirate Radio Sports Break presented by Ron Ayers Motorsports, Highway 11 north of the airport in Greenville. East Carolina takes on South Carolina this Saturday in the home opener at Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium at noon. According to HoistTheColors.net, ECU is a 4-point favorite in the game. Quarterback Holton Ahlers will be inside the Players Lounge this afternoon on Pirate Radio Live beginning at 3 o'clock. Number 9, Notre Dame survived a pesky Florida State team in overtime, winning it 41-38. Former UCF quarterback Mackenzie Milton played in the fourth quarter, leading Florida State on a late drive to force overtime. It was the first time Milton has played since 2018, when he suffered a catastrophic knee injury. And UConn head football coach Randy Edsall has announced that he will retire at the end of the season. The 63-year-old is 6-32 as the Huskies head coach. This has been a Pirate Radio Sports Break. I'm Shirley Rhodes.
Hello, Pirate Nation. This is Bram Anderson from Tiebreakers, and we are excited to announce that we will be opening our second location in Winterville soon. Right now, our growing company is hiring team members for all positions for both locations. We need managers, bartenders, servers, cooks, and dishwashers. If you're looking for an opportunity to be on a fun and exciting restaurant team, then come see us today. Apply in person at Tiebreakers at Bells Fork. Check us out at tiebreakersnc.com.
At Union Bank, we understand you live life on the go. That's why our banking options are designed to serve you, wherever you are. If you want to meet us in person at one of our local branches, complete banking tasks on the go from the mobile app, or bank from your office with convenient remote deposit and cash management services, we're everywhere you need us to be. Whether you're simply managing a busy schedule or an entire business, we're right there with you with personalized service and helpful tools. Call or visit us online at unionbanknc.com. Union Bank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Hey Pirate Nation, Lindsay Gray here with Carolina Caliber. In 1960, my granddaddy started his firearm business right here in Eastern NC. Still family owned and operated, we have the area's largest selection for outdoor shooting sports and accessories and are one of the nation's top firearm dealers. At Carolina Caliber, we have everything you need from hunting, home defense, and personal protection, including a wide variety for ladies and youth. We buy, sell, and trade. It's a time-honored tradition. Visit us at Carolina Caliber on Fire Tower Road in Winterville.
Hi, this is Jeff Charles for my friends at Ed Watkins Marine. I've known Ed personally for years, covering his winning performances on the football field and on NASCAR's pit road. Now Ed is winning on the water, and you get to win too. You win with awesome boat prices from Ed Watkins Marine, and of course, great service after the sale. If you're looking for a new boat, contact Ed Watkins Marine today. They will deliver anywhere. Find them online at edwatkinsmarine.com and tell them the voice sent you.
This is Touchdown Tony Collins, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back on this holiday Monday. Donnie Kirkpatrick, offensive coordinator and quarterback coach for this East Carolina Pirate football team, is our guest. Pirates taking on the Gamecocks of South Carolina. And in your house, this game has special meaning, doesn't it, Coach?
Yeah, it does. You know, it's the reunion tour for me because obviously I'd spent a lot of time up on the mountain there coaching at Appalachian State, and of course, best day of my life meeting Misty up there, and she had went to school there as well as a lot of other family members. My younger brother played for us while I was coaching at Appalachian, and so spent some time in Columbia. And Molly, our daughter, was born there, and she later then returned there to go to college there, and was a cheerleader there for 4 years, and she was there during their really, really good run there where Coach Spurrier was tearing it up a little bit. So I know that the house will not be totally divided, but there's probably a little bit of feeling in there for the Gamecocks.
That should be fun, though. East Carolina and South Carolina. Great matchup for the Pirates, having South Carolina come to Greenville and Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium. And as you said, you know, really, this is the first chance we've had in a long time to have a crowd at Dowdy-Ficklin.
Well, we're just so excited. I know our players are just so excited. And it was a great crowd the other night, too, for most of those guys, you know, because we still are somewhat of a young football team. Obviously the largest crowd they'd played in front of. And, you know, crowds had not been that great here before, and then with the pandemic last year, so it was a really good crowd. But we're expecting an even better crowd, a little more biased crowd, you know, for us this week. And this has been a game a long time coming because the last time, I guess, we played South Carolina, we were supposed to have played here, and somehow that game got switched into Charlotte, which was great, but it wasn't anything like playing in Dowdy-Ficklin.
All right, let's take some questions and comments from our Facebook Live feed. First one comes in about Noah Henderson getting the majority of snaps at right tackle due to Bailey's knee injury. What's the update there, Coach?
Well, we don't totally know yet, but it's not looking very good for Bailey, at least not for right now for this game. So we were very fortunate that Noah was able to be back, and Noah played really well, we thought, and things. He had one MA, I think, that, was another one of those protection deals. So everybody's got to eliminate that one mistake. But Noah will be set to be the starter this week for sure.
All right, another comment or question. Are we going to see more wheel routes and screens to get some of the playmakers in space? I think that was one of the keys of this game, that we really never got Tyler Snead going. They seemed to take away some of that, didn't they?
Well, they know where Tyler's at. There's no question about that. And they do their homework. You're always our screen game actually had a chance the other night. The play Keaton scored on was a screen pass. That was a flare screen out to him. We had two other screens that were called that should have worked, and we had one other one where Raji caught one for about 20-some yards, was actually a screen pass, too, that the lineman didn't actually get out, but it was all out blitz. And so he actually outran his blockers there, but still turned out to be a good play. Going into the Appalachian game, they were not a big man coverage team, which is when you use wheel routes and pick routes and stuff like that. We did get to a few of those. Raji had another one, which was a rub type pick play, I think, in the game. Now this week will be a total different defense. I do expect to see a lot of blitz. I expect to see a lot of pressure, and with that, we will definitely have those type plays in.
Take us through the Keaton Mitchell touchdown, Coach. What did you see on that play? What went right? How did that thing just explode like it did? Because obviously we saw Keaton absolutely fly.
Yeah, he's such a good receiver out of the backfield, and if you get him, out there in space, good things are going to happen. It was a call that in our second long game plan, they really dropped their linebackers really, really deep, and their coverage really, really deep on second and long. So you kind of have a game plan for each situation, and so we were going in the game planning to run screens. And they did. They dropped really, really deep, and our linemen were able to get out, and the receivers were able to run the DBs off, and Keaton got one or two just key little blocks right there, and he was just, gone. He had the speed, he could take it to the house. So we tried that play later, and the Sam linebacker peeled, and we should have been able to throw the ball to the backside screen because it's actually a double screen, but we got too much pressure. We didn't get a chance to do that.
Did you give Keaton any pointers on that dance that he did when he got in the end zone? And who taught him that?
Well, it wasn't me. I can tell you that. That's for sure, because I wouldn't be able to demonstrate it nearly like that. We've got a lot of talented guys like that. So hopefully we can score more so they can show those skills off more.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. All right, when you look at South Carolina's defense, you talked a little bit about their blitzing scheme and that kind of thing. I think the one thing that the average fan looks at when you're playing in South Carolina, obviously this is an SEC style team. They're picked to be near the bottom of the SEC standings, but still it's SEC caliber talent. And I know when you guys look at things like that and the recruiting that you guys recruit against South Carolina in so many different ways with guys that are out there. But what do you see in this defense?
Well, it is an SEC team, and you're saying that right. Maybe they're not picked to win that league. It's a big league, but that's like saying you're playing an NFL team, and even the worst NFL team's got the greatest players in the world on it. So what they are is they're a typical SEC team, and they're very good size. You have to have good size to play in that league, and so the defensive front has 3 starters back out of the 4, and that's probably the biggest concern we have going into this game is can we handle them up front, because they've got big guys that are fast guys that are probably going to the NFL type guys. And, they've been recruited by a lot of schools. There have been a lot of people thought they were good. So they're hard to handle. They totally dominated in their first game against an Illinois State team. They had no chance just simply because they could not block their front. The secondary is new. They had a great secondary last year, and they either got drafted or they transferred. And so that'll be the most inexperienced. So hopefully we'll have a little bit of an edge, or we can work something there. But they'll be able to run, and they'll be big, and they're used to playing good competition, obviously, as well. So, we're going to have to play our best. We're going to have a good game plan, and like you say, the Tyler Sneads and the CJs who did okay. They just never really got a break loose game, and Josiah's got to come through, and we got to have a lot more big plays. We'll have to handle them up front. That'll be the big challenge this week.
South Carolina in their first year under Shane Beamer. Did you guys run into each other through the years? I mean, do you know Shane?
I know Shane, and Shane's is a tremendous human being. Obviously, comes from pretty good stock there. He had a dad who was a pretty good man, who was a pretty good football coach as well. And though we've never worked together, playing them at Virginia Tech, we would always see each other. And then, of course, just out on the recruiting trails, you would run into people like that. And then, he was on the Oklahoma staff out there with Lincoln, and I used to, I made several trips out there and, hung out with him a little bit there too. So great person. I know he's excited about this opportunity. He had coached there as an assistant under Coach Berger when they were having great success. So he's got them fired up. He's got them playing, optimistic football right now. And obviously the first game they were dominant. So I know they're coming in here with some momentum, and we're going to have to be ready for that.
They had a grad assistant coach basically starting a quarterback in week 1 in Zeb Nolan. Luke Doty looks to be ready to go, but they haven't announced who's going to be starting at quarterback. Obviously, that's not your responsibility because you're on offense. But have you ever had a situation where you had somebody had put one of your coaches in at quarterback?
Lord, no, and I hope we don't on this staff because we ain't got anybody who can still play on this staff. We'd be in trouble. They're luckier than we are. I don't know. We could probably bring Brian Shore back out, too. He was a pretty good quarterback. He's still pretty young. I don't pay a lot of attention, but I know of the situation. Zeb Nolan is the son of Travis Nolan, who's a high school coach in Georgia right now, and I recruited Travis Nolan to Appalachian State and signed him, so I know the family very, very well. And when Zeb was first leaving Iowa State, we were James Madison. We did talk with him about transferring into James Madison. So he's a great young man. He's a good player. I say he's a man now because he's older, but very unique situation. That's maybe the most unique situation. But that's the beauty of college football. I heard on the one little show there on the radio or on between the commercial deal here talking about the kid at Florida State last night. Another great story about college football. But this was Zeb coming out of retirement from coaching to playing. That's an amazing story.
Yeah, it was an amazing story. That Florida State Notre Dame game was amazing last night too. That's Mackenzie Milton coming back and doing what he did. I mean, that was with that devastating knee injury and transferring out. And I can remember being down there for the championship game the year he was injured, and I was down there working for the American, and just all the talk. And I think he came out to midfield as one of the captains. Obviously, he was out for the season then, and just trying to bounce back. And his story and just the way he played last night was just incredible. And that was just a great game for a Sunday night for college football. It's good to see the crowds back out. Now, you were out recruiting the other night. I know you can't talk about specifics about who you were looking at, but what was it like to be back on the sideline finally and actually recruiting a player?
It was great. I will say this, we pulled out of Charlotte, a little after midnight, and a long bumpy road back home. Not feeling very good, not feeling too happy about anything in life. Woke up to a beautiful day on Friday and had the opportunity to go to 3 or 4 high schools, and it really was a great thing because you love getting out there and visiting with the high school coach, especially the high school coaches in Eastern North Carolina, which almost all are so supportive of East Carolina. Most of them probably went to school here or are huge fans, and so they really picked my spirits up. And then getting a chance, though you can't really talk to the prospects at this point, you got a chance to go see them in the weight room, and I got a good chance to see a really 2 outstanding football teams play. And so you love high school football. You love to be a part of that. You're just so happy to be out there and seeing the talent. We've got some good kids we're recruiting, especially out of this local area right here. And it made coming to work Saturday morning, then I was in a much better mood Saturday. I was much more optimistic about the future and getting going again after getting out there and having a chance to visit with those coaches and those players.
We want to get you in a good mood on Sunday this week, so we got to have a big effort on Saturday.
Do the radio show after a win.
Yeah, that's right.
We're going to win. You're going to let me do this.
We'll promise you. We promise you down the road we're going to get you after a bit. I owe you because I've had you on after some tough losses through the years. Jay writes in and says Appalachian State, along with some good American teams, use a lot of motion and misdirection plays. Why isn't ECU doing way more of this?
Well, truthfully, the Appalachian doesn't use a lot of misdirection. It's basically straight lead zone is what they do. They do put a little window dress in it with the receiver there that kind of runs by. They don't give it to him very often. Yeah, I don't know. That's the question. I'm not sure how to answer. We actually opened the game, with a misdirection play, and then we later second series came out first play with a misdirection play. Neither one of them were very successful, and I guess that's probably why we didn't go back to that. Going into the game, we actually thought what we called the counter tray, was going to be a good play. They had trouble defending that play the year before. They had really, really worked on their weaknesses, and they had really had a good game plan for the counter. So we didn't get back to that very much, and that's kind of the way it went. Like I say, it turned into a little bit more of a throwing game than probably we would have liked for it to have turned into. That was just due to getting a little bit further behind and just didn't have time to stay with the run game.
East Carolina Offensive Coordinator Donnie Kirkpatrick, our guest on this holiday Monday for your Labor Day. We'll take another commercial break right now. We'll come back more with Coach K, more of your questions and comments on our Facebook Live feed here on Pirate Radio after this.
The Rick House, Eastern North Carolina's premier American-style restaurant and bourbon bar, has great specials throughout the week, like $10 Tuesdays. Get 8 traditional wings and a draft beer for just $10. Wednesday night is date night, 2 salads, an appetizer, a bottle of wine, 2 entrees, and a dessert for just $55. Friday is smokehouse night with the best ribs and brisket around. Saturday is Italian night featuring all of our made-from-scratch pastas along with 2 glasses of wine. And on Sunday is the legendary brunch from 10 to 2. The Rick House, 710 Red Banks Road beside the bowling alley in Greenville.
Hi, I'm Ken Hagler of Taft and Hagler. We're proud to be sponsors of the Brian Bailey Show and the Pirate Nation on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. If you've been injured on the job or due to someone else's negligence in an automobile collision, call us at 752-2000 for a free consultation with experienced professionals who care. Go Pirates!
It's bow time. It's the same song, different tune. The family debates dinner, but all you're craving is a double serving of aspirin. So drop a big bow box on that pack of picky eaters. Cause when you can get 8 pieces of chicken with 4 made-from-scratch biscuits, 2 fixins, and tea, dinner's easier than hitting mute on the group chat. Bojangles, it's bow time.
Relax. Take a load off. You've earned it. This Labor Day at Bostic Sugg Furniture, you don't have to work hard to save on all the comforts of home. Come in during our Labor Day sale and shop huge in-stock savings on the best seats in the house. Plus, for a limited time, with any recliner, get a free stainless steel insulated tumbler with the always guaranteed lowest price, local delivery for just $20.21 and the best brands. This is the Labor Day sale you don't want to miss. Right now at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
Hello, Pirate Nation. This is Jamie Cuccinella, inviting you and your family to come by Cuccinella's Pizzeria and Italian Ice. Cuccinella's has been serving our special family recipe New York-style pizza since 1932. We think you'll taste the difference in just one bite. When you come in for a pie, don't forget to try our house-made Italian ice or gelato. We make small batches every day from scratch with all fresh ingredients. Cuccinella's on Old Tar Road across from Plant and See, Cuccinellas.com, and on Facebook and Instagram.
Are you suffering from anxiety, sleep issues, or chronic pain? Have you heard of CBD? You can learn about the benefits of CBD right here in Greenville at the Hemp Garden. Hemp Garden offers a variety of products and solutions that are truly making a difference in our community. Hemp Garden also provides products that can assist with energy and focus. Have a pet? Come check out their selection of CBD pet products. Visit Hemp Garden to speak with a CBD specialist in a relaxed and welcoming environment today. Exclusive discounts are offered to first-time customers. Hemp Garden, located at 3040 South Evans Street in the Target Shopping Center in Greenville.
This is Amanda Houston, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. Go Pirates!
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back as we continue on with Donnie Kirkpatrick, offensive coordinator and quarterback coach for this Pirate football team. Coach, when you have a Saturday off like you guys did, how often do you get a chance to see some of the other coaches you've worked with and that kind of thing? I was going to ask specifically about Coach Holtz, Skip Holtz and company. La Tech had Mississippi State beaten. I swear they did, and they lost that game. I was just wondering if you had a chance to see that one.
I didn't get a chance to see that. Like I say, our schedule the players were off on Saturday. That didn't mean the coaches were off on Saturday. We went recruiting on Friday and got back to the game, and then we were in early Saturday morning. We were watching the game against Appalachian, and then we got a jump on South Carolina. We got out of here early evening, though, I will say that. So I did get a chance to see the games at night. I watched the Clemson-Georgia game.
Yeah.
I watched a little bit of the South Carolina-Eastern Illinois game there a little bit, too. I didn't watch it as heavily because I knew I was going to be spending the next week watching that on film, which you can see obviously what's happening on the film a lot more than you can on the TV copies. So I did get to see the night games, but I kind of always keep up with the scores. You have the alerts on, and same thing. I thought he had a big win right there. That would have been his 150th win. And that's pretty special, so I'm really hoping he'll get that here pretty quickly.
Yeah, it was just a shame because he had Mississippi State beaten, and then he went over to the kicker before he went out for the field goal. And I was sitting with Melissa, we were eating dinner, and we were watching, and I said, I hope he doesn't tell him the same joke because it may not work out. And I forget what the joke was. It was Ben Hartman when he went to him. It was something about the change a football player gets and it's his quarterback. And I don't know how exactly the joke went, but he was talking to his kicker, but his kicker didn't give him quite the same effort, and it wasn't good. But it had to be a tough loss because they really played well for the most part.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
All right, when you look at South Carolina and this defense, Are there things right now that you think, hey, I know this will work, and obviously you don't give them away, but are there things that are there things that you think might work? You go into practice and you kind of spin the pot around, that kind of thing.
I think it's a little bit of both. You start watching tape and you watch it a lot of different ways. You watch it in the games played to get a feel for how the coordinator calls things and the flow of the game. Then we have everything cut up into like situations. First down. Situation, second and long, all the different third downs, red zone, goal line. If you're coming out 2 minutes, you study the tape and what they do in situations. You study it also by what formation and how they defend formations. And you do start to see things. You say, okay, this should be good. This matches up good. We do this. You just can't put a new offense in each week. Your kids would never know what to do. But you say, hey, because they play this coverage to this formation, these are the routes that we should be able to run. These have a good chance to work. These are the runs that you like. These are the checks you're going to have to make. And so as the week goes, you first start off thinking, wow, they're so good, nothing's going to work. You start getting optimistic. You start practicing it. We did a little bit yesterday. Sunday's practice is a pretty light practice. We get about 20 minutes of teamwork in. You start to look at some things. You do experiment with a couple of things. You do that Tuesday, Wednesday. Usually by Thursday, you're starting to feel pretty good about it. Then you go into the game, and it's kind of a chess match. Sometimes they've adjusted, and then you have to adjust. Sometimes you're dead right on, and it works right from the get-go. So you just never know, but you do spend a lot of time trying to come up with a plan.
Another question coming in wants to know about the up-tempo. It says it seems that when you go up-tempo that Holton gets in a groove and keeps the defense on its toes, keeps them backpedaling a little bit, I guess, is how that would go. But how about the tempo? How happy were you with the offense's tempo the other night?
Well, I think that observation is dead right on. I think we play our best football offensively when we do play faster, and I push them to do that and push them to do that. Now, early in the year, sometimes they get a little tired. We called a little bit of a break the other night. It wasn't quite as hot as it normally is in the first ball game. The key to all that is that you have to move the ball to be able to play fast at the tempo. So when we were able to get a couple of big plays, we did do that. The 2-minute offense obviously is designed to do that, and we moved the ball, and we moved it all the way down there. And we did stump our toe a little bit there on third down, and that's why we had to go to the big bend. The key is we just got to get more of those plays where we get those yards gained so that you can tempo that, because I do think that's when we're at our best, and that keeps the defense from being able to adjust. It keeps them from being able to dial up their exotics, the tougher blitzes, their special defenses. It kind of makes them just get into a base defense because they have to line up or you already have the ball snap.
You had a chance to get it to the tight end a couple of times the other night. I've always said that this East Carolina offense, regardless of who the head coach is, the offense is better when there's a tight end out there that can make some plays. And I think that we're starting to see, because when Coach Houston got here, he said the tight end room was really a lonely place. But now you've got some guys in that tight end room.
Yeah, we do. And I'm really disappointed that we didn't get it to the tight ends more. But again, we got a lot of weapons. You know, you look back, you say, "Well, I wish Snead would have got it more." No, I wish Raji would have got it more. I wish Keaton would have gotten it more. We've got to keep the ball more. We got to move it better, so we'll have more plays. We only had 64 plays in the game, so that we can get it to more people. Now, Ryan Jones called a touchdown. I was really glad to see him get some success there at the end of the game. He kept playing hard, made a really good play. Shane actually caught the touchdown. That was the one touchdown that was called back. So the first play of the game was designed to go to the tight end, and then there was about 2 or 3 other plays where they just happened to cover the tight end, though. They did a nice job of taking the tight end away some. So we'll keep continuing to work them. They're a huge part of what we do, if we're throwing it to them or not, because they're a huge part of the blocking schemes as well.
How did the guys come back after the loss? Because I know, you know, and you kind of touched on it earlier about, you know, drunk fans or you know, bad gamblers, upset. You know, this is a community, as you well know, that just wants to win. It just is so proud of their football team, especially when they win. And the guys, you know, we talked about it with Holton so much in the offseason. You know, his goal is to get this team to a bowl game. I mean, that's the bottom line. He talked about it after the loss in Charlotte. He said, we got to get to at least 6 wins some way, somehow. I think you guys would take 9 wins if you could get them. But, I mean, there's a lot of pressure on this team to perform. How did they come back after the loss?
Well, I think that's a big part of what a lot of these kids are about, like Holton. The fans here are, for the majority, the best around. And I've been to a lot of schools, and the fans here are tremendous. The community here supports this team so well. And everybody does just want to win. And I think the kids actually feel the pressure, not so much for themselves and their family wanting to win, is it's come to the point where they would love to win for this school, for these people that go to school here, for the people that have gone to school here before, or the people that just support the team. So they were really, I think that's where they were most disappointed, because they were just so jacked up that we were going to get this thing turned around. And it is. It's going to get turned around. We know that. I know we keep saying that. You have to keep saying that. You have to believe that. And it will happen. It's one of those things where it's not happening as fast as any of us want it to happen. We're having, as you know, coaching staff discussions about we've got to get them ready to play. We can't put too much pressure on them, and you can't talk too much about the winning and the final results. We've got to spend more of our time just talking about the process, because you just can't think. You know, I think Michael Jordan had that saying or something about he never thought about was he going to make the free throw or not. He just concentrated on his technique of shooting the free throw and doing what he's got to do. So we don't want to overburden them with, we've got to win, we've got to win. No, what we got to do is we've got to play better. We've got to line up better. We've got to play faster. We've got to catch that ball. We got to pick this blitz up. You know, defense has got their things we got to do. So we're really concentrating more on the process. We got to practice well. We got to have a good meeting today. You got to pay attention in the meeting today. You got to go back and study this at night. And then the wins will come when we start doing the things that it takes to win.
And I take that one step further. If you look back at the SMU game last year, when we always talk about how great the offense was that day and then how everything clicked, but I don't think you went into the SMU game thinking, hey, we got to win. I think you went into the SMU game thinking, hey, we got to continue to play better. We got to keep, you know, and all of a sudden it all came together.
Well, I think that's exactly right. That's exactly right. The week before we were playing Temple, and I think for the most part, and maybe this was more offensively than defensively, the kids felt like we have to win this game. We're better than this team. We're expected to win this game. We need to get this next win. We don't want to be back in that 3-win thing or whatever, and we got to get over this hump. And I thought we played a little tight, even though we won the game by a pretty good margin. We didn't blow them out like maybe we should have. The next week, our kids were relaxed. We were playing at home. It was Thanksgiving. Their families were in. They wanted to play well. They wanted to play well for the crowd, their families. But I think the pressure was off, and we let it roll. And so that's what we keep talking about as a staff. Each team is different. Some teams need that pressure to make themselves play good. Some teams need to be a little bit more relaxed. We're trying to find that balance between not being too easy, but not overemphasizing the final results. It's more about the process right now for us.
All right, let's talk about the South Carolina game before we let you go, and we certainly appreciate your time today. But the Gamecocks come to town. What do you guys have to do offensively, working on it this week and then executing it on Saturday?
Well, like I say, we're going to have to play well up front, and we'll have to game plan well up front too, because they're really, really good up front. That's an SEC, which is basically all NFL guys playing defensive line. We'll get blitz, we'll get pressure, because the word now, I think Appalachian blitzing so much more, and then them telling us their study, and they had talked to some other teams, you must keep Holton from getting comfortable. You must pressure him. So they're willing to go zero coverage and whatever it takes, which puts them a little bit at risk. So we're going to have to do a better job of pass protecting the blitz this week.
And following up on that, when you guys see a zero protection and Holton throws up one of those 50-50 balls, you got to get guys that'll go up and get it. I thought that Audie had a couple of them that I don't know whether he didn't know the ball was coming his way or whether he kind of just ran out his route. Did you see that? And maybe CJ the same?
Well, I'm not going to call any of those guys out.
Right.
Say that's my job to get them to do it right.
Right.
I understand that. We did have some of those situations when they bring the house. They're going to make you throw it quick, but they're in man coverage. It's a one-on-one deal out there. He's got to get rid of the ball. They've got to hold that line and not get rerouted to the sidelines, and they got to make those plays. That's how it happens. Now you can hit a few crossing routes and some things like that, some rub routes, and we had a couple of those. We threw one a little bit behind Sneed. He feels like he should have caught it. It wasn't a great throw, but that was when we missed the blitzer, and the quarterback throwing the ball with the guy hitting him in the chin at the same time, he's going to throw it a little bit high. So that's what it is. It is a thing where you got to go make plays. They're going to bring it at us this week. We know that. Our kids know that. We're going to pick it up better this week, and we're going to have some big plays off of it, is what I think.
I think you're right. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. South Carolina coming to town this weekend. East Carolina, South Carolina, 12 noon kickoff at Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium. Coach Kirkpatrick, thanks so much for joining us this afternoon, celebrating your Labor Day holiday with us. It is a Labor Day for you guys. You guys are working hard, aren't you?
We're grinding away, and I'm going to get right back to it here. Now, this was my fun part for the day right here.
We appreciate it. We had some fun as well. Donnie Kirkpatrick joining us today from his office over at East Carolina. We'll take our final commercial break. We'll come back, and we'll wrap up this edition of the Brian Bailey Show right after this.
Seared Chop House is Greenville's newest restaurant and the city's only true chop house. We combine a remarkable menu with an unrivaled atmosphere. Seared, a quality-driven experience highlighting a thoughtful approach to locally sourced ingredients and hearty, flavor-rich cuisine. We're firing up the grill at Seared, Greenville's only true chop house. Come see us, Fire Tower Road at Bells Fork or SearedChophouse.com.
There's no better time to drive away with a quality pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Greenville Auto World. Greenville Auto World is your authorized rough country dealer. We specialize in lift and leveling kits along with custom wheel packages. Whether you're looking for ground clearance or enhancing the appearance of your vehicle, trust our team for your off-road experience. Greenville Auto World, 3840 South Charles Boulevard across from Hardee's at Bells Fork, or online at greenvilleautoworld.net.
First came the PCC location, then came the ECU location on Jarvis Street. Now introducing the newest store at 10th Street at the Food Line near Walmart. It's Angus Grill 3. 3 restaurants featuring all of your favorite burgers and more. They've got your classic Angus, steak burger, brisket burger, black and blue burger, sweet sriracha burger, jalapeno popper burger. You get the idea. Now with 3 options for the best burger in town. Angus Grill at PCC, Angus Grill at ECU, and now Angus Grill at 10th Street in the Food Line Shopping Center. It's Greenville's best burger, times 3. BMS Builders is your premier custom builder in Eastern North Carolina. With Blackwood and Mills Creek in Greenville, Dalton's Cove in Farmville, and Belmar in Ayden, these are just a few of the developments featuring BMS Builders homes. They can build the home of your dreams. Just ask Dr. Dennis Ross in Greenville or East Carolina football coach Mike Houston. They built their homes, and they can build yours as well. BMS Builders. Give them a call at 916-1578 for BMS Builders.
When your family gathers around a shakaroni from Papa John's, you're sharing more than extra cheese and pepperoni. You're sharing scholarships, meals, and laughter. Because $1 from every Shaq-a-Roni goes to charity. That's pizza with a purpose.
Hey, Pirate fans, the Shaq-a-Roni pizza is back, and only for $13. Plus $1 from every purchase goes to charity. The Shaq-a-Roni is an MVP move for game day or any day. Place your order online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, the official pizza of the ECU Pirates.
Did you know time spent outdoors can help improve your children's health and bring balance to their life? The Outdoor Heritage Advisory Council invites you to join the Patch program. This program is for any child under the age of 16 and includes activities like fishing, hunting, and hiking. These are just one of the many ways you can earn the exclusive patches from the Outdoor Heritage Council. For more information on how to sign up and get your adventure started, visit outdoorheritage.nc.gov.
This is Stephen Igo, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, let's wrap up this edition of the Brian Bailey Show on this Labor Day Monday. Clip Brock joins us. He is the host of the pregame show, 8 a.m. on Saturday morning, the Bud Light pregame tailgate. And then he and our good friend Billy Weaver take over with the fifth quarter call-in shows. How'd the first show go? Did Weaver hang in there all right?
Yeah, he got a full taste of what the postgame show can be about. I bet he did. And
I hosted it back in the day, years and years ago, but that's been a long time.
He got called out personally a few times. And,
that's
but
good
no,
stuff.
we had fun. And look, I thought what we did, like, we can't control the outcome of the game, but we had a great day and night here at Pirate Radio.
Yeah, I think so. I had a lot of fun going on the trip. I mean,
great video, by the way. You snooping around. It's kind of creepy.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny because when we started talking about what to do, like, it's one of those things. It's like a blank slate. Just do something. Yeah, interview somebody.
Go wing it, Bailey.
I got there. I was like, there's nobody here. They want this thing back at 4:30. I said, okay, we'll figure this thing out. So it worked out pretty well.
I love the walk into the stadium, and you first, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Like, you go locker room, but when you go through those doors and see the field and the stadium, it was beautiful.
And it was really cool. And I swear, I had a tear in my eye the other night talking to Melissa. I said, one of these days they're going to take this privilege away from me. They're going to make me retire one of these days. But it's so much fun, man. I mean, it's just a blast being there, and guys on the sideline. Harold Varner was on the sideline. John Gilbert was on the sideline before the game. And I got a story to tell you. Remind me to tell you a story about me and Luke Combs whenever we do the 3:30 part. Yeah. We'll save it for that because that's your part, and I'll save that one for later on.
Bailey, when you retire, you'll get the Drew Steele role. They'll still let you run out with the team.
Really?
Yeah,
they probably should.
I think so.
Yeah, that's my goal in life now.
Be Drew Steele.
Is to continue with that one. But looking forward to that. Cowboys play the Bucs on Thursday.
How about them Cowboys?
You going to root for the Cowboys?
Hell no.
I didn't think so.
I think they can hang with them, though.
I think it just depends. You don't know what you're going to get out of Dak. Zach Martin not playing because of COVID is really going to hurt because Zeke Elliott came out and said he's the best player we got on offense. He went right past Dak and said, hey, Zach's the best player we got on offense.
It is kind of scary, and it's only one game of a really long season.
Right.
But to play a team that won the Super Bowl that has everybody, literally everybody's coming back. It's crazy.
Yeah, so it'll be fun coming up on Thursday. But Pirate football resumes on Saturday, 12 noon kickoff for East Carolina and South Carolina. That should be a lot of fun as well. Pirate radio coverage begins at 8 a.m. with the Bud Light pregame tailgate. All right, let's wrap up this edition of the Brian Bailey Show. Thanks so much for making us part of your holiday Monday on this Labor Day. Donnie Kirkpatrick was our guest. We thank him for his time, and we'll see you back here next week on the Brian Bailey Show.
This has been The Brian Bailey Show, brought to you by
Angus Grill, Bostic Sugg Furniture, Bojangles, East Coast Grading, The Gavigan Agency, Greenville Auto World, Papa John's, Pepsi, Seared Chop House, Taft and Hagler, Tiebreakers, BMS Builders, and The Rick House.
Join us next time for another edition of The Brian Bailey Show, exclusive